Hey, welcome to May 17.
Already, what, almost halfway through the year?
I know. But you know what's weird? For
What?
2 weeks now, we've been like, okay, hang tight because it's sell in May and go away. But it's May 17th, and this was last week's list. Like, we're still finishing strong. Look at May 10th list. I didn't realize I had workhorse on there, but well done. Nice week, hey?
Very nice week.
Hut did well. Some of these are on this week's list because it's that kind of a jam this week. This one was kind of bottomed out. Like this morning, I put a warning in the chat. I'm like, wow, it looks like the AI stocks are happy. And I think it has a lot to do with Tesla's combo yesterday. But that's why I was watching for AIs this morning and they're all on fire. So
Absolutely.
interesting in here. All everything that's hot, well, minus workhouse, which I actually forgot about, but we have Upstart. We'll talk about that from today's list. But Splunk is up 6%, so that's nice. Yeah. Okay, I gotta move Tesla over to today's list because I think that Elon, as much as I don't like the guy, I think he lit up AI today.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
don't
he did talk about AI quite a lot yesterday in his interview and his meeting with
Mhm.
Faber on CNBC yesterday.
Mhm.
And he did talk about how Tesla will have its chat GTP moment when cars go autonomous and 5 to 10 million cars start driving themselves on the road. So he talked a lot about AI. So I think that definitely just put investors' focus back on AI, and people have an appetite for it.
I think so. Like it's looking
It's been the
pretty
year of
cool.
AI so far, pretty much. It's been the topic of number one topic this year.
Well, it is because it's changing how our world is right now. And it's a big technology thing. One thing that I've been hearing a lot about, and it's totally lining up, you know how last bull run it was like the metaverse was crazy, but AI has totally made the metaverse like nada. Like it's barely a word anymore. Because you can't really compete with AI. Like it scares me, but it's still, I gotta admit, it's crazy cool technology. Like it is crazy cool technology.
Oh, for sure.
So, it's a weird thing for humanity, but so is the internet. So, like you said last week, I've been thinking about that and I'm like, I don't like it, but I'm also, unfortunately, in my 40s and maybe I have an aversion to things that are new now. I don't know, but can't deny that there's power in it.
Of course.
It's been a while now. We've had AI. I'm going to move this up. We've had AI on our list now for the last probably about a month, and they've been ripping and dipping every single week. So like you could have made a couple 100% on your money just in the last few weeks riding the dips and rips that we've been talking about.
Oh, yeah.
So
It's been a lot of fun. Buy it
yeah.
under 20, sell it over 30. It's happened over and over and over again.
Oh yeah, you are sighing, right?
Yeah, you're talking about AI, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Because
the
like,
AI stock, which is up today, like one of the biggest artificial
oh,
intelligence
I was talking about like
stocks.
the whole sector really, but we can go to that stock if that one stock
Yeah,
I
I
meant.
mean that is like probably like the biggest stock right now that everyone talks about when it comes to AI. So you can look at it, it's up 13%. And
And
look
you
at
know
those.
what? When this goes, that's when the small caps go. And they're not selective. Like we've seen that in how many new sectors have we traded together? Like everything.
I think we look at
Cannabis,
everything, right? We try to look at
psychedelics,
everything.
all the
So
new sectors, we've traded them all together. And this is what they do. When one monster goes, like the leader of the pack, like you're saying C3, you think is the leader, right?
correct.
The rest just follow.
Yep.
Because people are looking like it's the psychological thing. They see one go and then they're all searching for the next small one. And that's what you see this like nice big spike here. But don't forget, it's going to come back to pick you back up if you missed it because it has all other times, right? Because we are in the summer. It's accumulation nation, right?
Sell
So
in
that's
May and go away.
you got it. So people are just day trading, ripping around. It's like good time, not a long time. But needless to say, we got to talk about the US 30 because
Yeah, it's ripping.
I
Big day.
wouldn't, why do you think it had a big day? Why do you think this?
Well, it's up 300 basis points. It was up 400 basis points.
No, but I want to hear why you think it was up 400 basis points.
Why is it up?
Why
Well,
do
I
you
mean, the
think it's
market's been up and down, and it's been down to start the week, and now it's just kind of coming back up. So
do you
I
think it's
think that
just
the
normal
market's been
business?
choppy because everyone's waiting for this debt ceiling, which I've been
Oh,
saying is not a problem, but everyone keeps saying
but
it
I
is.
think it
They're trying to
is.
make a big deal out of it. And then today, Biden came out and said that they're working on it. They will get it resolved. So I think he just calmed everyone down that there could be some type of a default, which I said will never happen because all they got to do is print more money. And we know
But
that
if
they
they
will, we
default, they
know,
can't print.
but they're not going to default because they can just print more money. So
Well,
once they decide how much more they want to print, they just print it. So why would they default? So they're just
because
bringing
they
that
have to
up
make
to
these
create that.
decisions before they
They're just,
default.
can I finish my
Yeah,
sentence?
yeah.
They're just bringing it up because they're creating fear and panic in the market, trying to create fear and panic in the market for no real reason, because we all know they're not going to default. It's
I
not
don't
like they're
think.
like a country like Portugal that has to go to Germany and ask for money, in the euro. This is the United States of America. If they want more money, they just go to the Fed and print it. They pay a fee, but they can print it.
But do you realize
Infinitum.
that
They
the
can print
default
it
date is
infinitum.
looming?
Pardon
And
me?
the default date is looming. And if they do default, they won't be able to print.
Yeah, but they're not going to default. They're
That's
just creating that fear and panic, which is causing people to sell in the market. And then when they come out and say, like Biden did, oh, we'll get it done, then everyone
yeah, but did
feels
he
good
say it
about
in
it.
English or did he say blah, 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 blah? Because
Well,
that's
he
what he
said
usually
it. He
says,
said
and
it
then
today,
they
and I
translate
was
it.
watching, and the market exploded after that. So
Yeah, which is
pretty
really weird.
clear. Everybody feels like it'll get done. I know it's going to get done. And I believe that anyone who thinks there's actually going to be a default is on another planet. But we'll
Mm.
see. Let's see if I
Clearly,
get
I'm
proven
on
wrong.
another planet. I've been accurate all year for 10 months. So I guess the planet I'm on
So are
was
you calling a
real.
default? Let's put it out there
I
right now. You're
I'm
calling
not
there's going to
calling
be
a
a default?
default for sure, but I'm saying we're gonna get close, and I think
Okay, whoa,
it's
whoa,
very
whoa, whoa,
possible.
whoa. Either there will be a default or there will not. I'm saying
I
there will
don't
not
know,
be a
but I'm not.
default.
No, you're saying there won't. I'm saying
Yes,
there could
correct.
be.
So are you saying there will be a default?
I don't know 100%,
Okay.
but I
Well,
do think it's
I'm telling
possible.
you there will not be a default.
Okay,
And
I do think
I'm
it's
making that
possible.
very,
I
very
really
clear. So if
do.
you're going to say you've been right for 10 months, I want you
I
to pick
have.
a side. You can't go either way. You can't go in the middle. Can't be like, well, I think there could be one. So if you're going to say there's
No,
not
I
going to be
really
a
think there
default, just say there's
could. I
not going to be
really
a
do.
default.
Okay, fine, I'll say yes, but I really don't know. This is the thing. Like you're forcing me. I should be able to say I'm not sure. So I'd like to say I'm not sure, but Rich TV Live is forcing me into saying yes. So
So you're saying
stay
there will be a
lucky.
default for the
But
record.
I'm thinking, yeah, I really think it's possible. However, there's lots of like factors that can come into force. The one thing that I'm noticing, and a lot are noticing, is he's avoiding it. Like he was supposed to go to the table last week and then he didn't. So those are the things that make me unsure.
What doesn't he avoid?
Yeah,
What
true
does this
story.
president do?
It's just
Absolutely
that I'm not
nothing.
sure because you can't trust the guy.
He
He's
does
just always up to
absolutely
something.
nothing. So I believe they love the entertainment and they love being a spectacle, and they're going to wait till the last hour to get
Absolutely.
it done.
Yeah. Well, if they get it done.
They'll get it done.
Yeah, we'll
100% they're going to
see.
get it done. They have
I
to.
don't think it's 100%, but because here's another factor that I was
Oh yeah,
thinking
they're just
of.
going to default the US economy and go into bankruptcy.
Actually, so if they default, then interest rates are going to go up and lots of weird things will happen. If he defaults, he might see that as a reason, like because Biden's got dementia, right? And the way he's avoiding all these meetings is really wacky. Like he was supposed to show up to last Friday, postponed it. Then he's supposed to have another one coming, and he's like, "Oh, maybe I'll go to Japan
No,
instead."
he postponed all his travels so that he can get the debt ceiling dealt with. So it's
Yeah,
going
and
to
then
get
he
done.
booked a trip to Japan.
Yeah, it's been canceled.
Oh, he canceled it?
Yes.
Oh,
That's what
okay.
I'm
I thought
telling
it was
you.
in the
He said that he
table.
canceled everything else so they can get this done.
Okay, cool. Last I
That's why
heard,
the
he was
market is
still on
pumping.
it. Okay, okay, cool, cool. That's news I missed.
Very
That's
confident that that's going to get done.
I sure hope so, because that would cause a spiral beyond a spiral. I was doing some reading on like the potentials of what would happen. Yeah, no bueno. Because it could all come down to everything we've talked about, like stocks selling off to cover themselves, because that's clearly what happened. Interest rates going up, car loans defaulting, mortgages defaulting, next level stuff. So I really hope he does what he has to do, prints more. I mean, the US dollar is going down. I had the Dixie on here. Let's pull it up. One thing though, can I just say, and I know that this sounds really crappy for anybody that doesn't want to default, the kind of truth is I kind of do want them to. Because then that would just make today's list so sexy. So here's what I base today's list on. Because the thing is until we know if he's printing or not, we're going to have a lot of days of fear and a lot of days of panic. And then we're going to have some days of weird, wacky hope. Like we saw that in the bank failures. Remember when like FRC even or Signature Bank was like closing the doors and then it was still having days of like 50% on the stock, it would go green. And you're like, what are you doing? Right?
Yeah.
Those things were happening. Something tells me that that's what these markets are. Like that's what this green was people just trying to hold on to some hope. But here's the thing, I'm kind of hoping that they do, or at least come close, because then if they do, we're going to see a huge rush into safe haven assets like gold and Bitcoin.
Well, I mean, we saw today Bitcoin going up and the stock market going up and oil go up, but we saw gold go down. So gold being the safe haven asset, people sold off their gold to start buying more riskier assets. That's what it looks like is happening.
Do you know
They sold their safe haven stuff to buy the riskier stuff today. And that's why you see Bitcoin's up, you see artificial intelligence is up, you see Tesla's up, you see a lot of stocks are up, the US 30, NASDAQ, S&P 500 is up, oil's up, and gold is down, and the VIX is down.
Yeah, interesting. Hey, like, I mean, it's just almost like it's really so almost perfectly easy to predict right now what our summer of trading is going to be like.
Yeah, I've been really hunting the market this week. I'm looking for day trades. I don't love the market. It's like, okay, so whenever something runs, it runs pre-market. By the time it opens up, it's already made a big run. And a lot of times what's happening is these stocks pull back. They don't just continue. So it's a really tough market to just jump into momentum and jump into momentum trades. So I think you just have to, be patient, look for companies you really like, wait for them.
And the right sectors.
Yeah, and wait for them to dip. Like if you like Tesla, try to buy Tesla on red days because Tesla's, is going up right now. It's up 70% this year, right? Bitcoin's up like 80, 70, 80% this year. So if you like Bitcoin, you want to get into Bitcoin, try to get in on a dip. If you like Tesla, try to get in on a dip. But a lot of these companies like the small caps or penny stocks that have been running, a lot of them, they're not running on the greatest fundamentals. Sometimes the news isn't the greatest. Sometimes they do a reverse and then they run after reverse. So there's a lot of not the greatest deals that are running. So you just have to be careful in this market. There's a lot of fakes. There's a lot of head fakes. There's a lot of weird stuff going on in these markets right now. But there's also
that's going to continue all summer, I think.
Yeah, and there's also a lot of stuff that makes a lot of sense. So that's what we like to talk about. We like to look at. We like to look at a lot of the charts over and over again to see what's happening, to see the trends, follow the trends, and you can make a lot of money following those trends.
That's right. Like, don't fix what's not broken. And I think like as much has been going on around us, when you and I are putting our list together, we've been on point. We've been on point with our picks. And it's only because we're not bouncing around. We've focused on what sectors have been hot based on what's going on in the world, and we've been on point. So we got some good new ones. There's an interesting new one that I want to talk about that is one of your picks. That I was like, oh, interesting thought process. But just for like a quick rendition, today we're talking about the things that could potentially go crazy if the US defaults. And really, over the next 2 weeks, we do have the risk of that, which is why I think we're going to be bouncing up and down. And bouncing up and down means it gives us a chance to accumulate, right?
Absolutely.
So we're doing safe haven assets, gold and Bitcoin, and graphite. Remember we talked last week? I was like, wow, we got to get into these graphite picks.
Yeah.
So here's where I read just a couple weeks. I've read this before, but then it just kind of slipped my mind because when we think about electric vehicle batteries, lithium is the one thing that's been shoved in our minds, right? But there is no lithium without graphite, which is interesting. It hasn't been focused on, but I think it's going to be equally as hot. So here's the deal. A global graphite shortage. Can you see this article?
Again.
Okay. A global graphite shortage is a matter of when, not if, without new sources of supply. So for the US, it's 100% dependent on foreign imports. We have a decent amount of these companies in Canada. So props to us having these on the TSX and the CSE, because if you're from the US, you can just buy ours and save yourself some money. Anyways, needless to say, another thing that I learned is graphite doesn't have to be mined. It can actually be made synthetically. So I do have a few on our list that are the synthetic graphite suppliers. So that was an interesting thing that I had never heard about before. Anyways, it activates lithium is basically how it works. So yeah, it's so interesting to me too, which is why we got to go through this. So graphite's known for metallic properties, including thermal and electrical conductivity, non-metallic, including inertia, inertia is movement, high thermal resistance, and lubricity, so like lubrication. They're used in industrial applications, we know, but it's the most important application in the lithium ion battery because graphite ranks above lithium as the key ingredient. There's up to 30 times more graphite in a lithium battery than there is lithium because graphite added to lithium becomes lithium ion. Boom. Got that?
Yeah.
Without graphite, it's lithium, not lithium ion. And lithium ion is what you need in a battery.
Huge.
Right. So to me, this is like so much more of a bigger opportunity than just lithium alone. If we need 30 times more of it and there's a critical supply of it, I'm going to graphite, period. I'm going to likely have more in my portfolio than I will have lithium. Can I make this big? No. How many new mines are needed by 2035? How can I make this bigger without causing a drama? Let's see here. I saw this on my phone. I was able to zoom in, but I don't think it's going to work. Anyways, this is the reason why I have a large amount of lithium stocks on our list today. I haven't gone through all of them on a DD level. That's something we can do as a team. But the truth is, I think we have some wicked opportunities because there's some really, really, really nice ops in here.
Yeah, let's go through them.
Okay. Now let's take a look at Bitcoin. I find that people are being dramatic. I've been watching like Instagram and all Twitter and seeing people's chart analysis on Bitcoin. And this is what I've been seeing. You've probably seen the same thing. I saw this. People were being dramatic and said that this support was breached. I don't think that was quite a support. So someone said, oh no, this support has been breached. What's going to happen to Bitcoin? Okay, just zoom out. Really, because there's not a support there at this time. There never really has been a support there. It's been a launch pad at times, but it was never supported here, right? It launched here, but it was not supported here. So that is not a support to me. I think we'd be just fine. And I know this seems ugly to come down another 2,000 points, but big deal, because just the debate that you and I just had proves my point. You and I just had a debate, and the whole world is having this debate. Will the US default or will they not default? None of us know. All we can do is throw out opinions, but we don't know, right?
Yeah.
We don't really know. We just assume. But the whole thing is the market doesn't know. So they're going to go from fear to panic to excitement to fear to panic to excitement for the next couple weeks.
Yep.
So like you said, if everyone's rushing in to buy their stocks thinking all is well, then Bitcoin can, you know, sit on the back burner a little bit, and it can absolutely come to test this 25,000. I don't think that's dramatic. I think that's just fine. What do you think?
I think different. I think it looks pretty bullish, and I think we're going to see it go to 35 pretty soon.
I do think it looks bullish as well. But what I'm saying is there's people saying that this looked bearish. And I'm like,
but,
I don't
most
think
people
so.
don't really know Bitcoin probably, or they don't watch it like we do. Like I watch this thing every day.
Yeah.
We've done the sessions where it was at 30, 31. And we were like wondering, you know, if we were going to come back and be at 35, and it's gone down a little bit. But I mean, it's only come down like what, 10%?
Yeah, like
From the
look at the
highs?
rhythm. Two stairs
So
up,
it's
one
a
stair
normal
back.
pullback
Two
to me.
stairs up, one stair
Yeah,
back.
to me, it looks like a normal pullback, right?
It does.
So I think it's literally just getting pulled back for the next big move.
That's
really.
exactly what I think.
And with all the catalysts coming, like the debt ceiling, as soon as they announce that they have a solution, I think that will be bullish for Bitcoin, and that will be its next move up when they announce that they have a resolution.
Okay, so we have two potential catalysts for Bitcoin to be bullish. If they do this and say we've raised the debt ceiling, your idea is that that's going to be a bullish catalyst, which I think so too. And then if they don't raise it and they default, well, that can also be bullish for Bitcoin. As
That's the
safe
beauty of
haven digital
Bitcoin, and why
asset.
I own Bitcoin, and why I think everyone should own Bitcoin, because there's so many reasons why Bitcoin can go higher.
Exactly.
There's some reasons why it can go lower too, like the fact that the United States is trying to do everything they can to get rid of Bitcoin. But nonetheless, we know that Bitcoin will survive regardless of what happens in the United States. Just like regardless of what happened in China.
I wanted to just show this. We haven't seen this since last year. And then here we are. Ba-dum, ba-dum. Right?
Yep.
It took a year to get back here. Big deal. It's Bitcoin. Bitcoin has 4-year cycles.
That's right.
So c'est la vie. We're coming into the end of the 3rd year, right, of this cycle? Yes.
Well, okay, so I like the cycle that I know of is 1 year down, 3 years up. So last year was the year that was down. This will be the first year of the up cycle. It'll go up again next year, and then it will go up the year later, 2025, when I anticipate it'll hit its all-time highs.
Oh, I like that thought.
That's the cycle. It's 1 year down, like you said, 70 to 90%. And for the whole crypto space, Bitcoin leading the way, and then 3 years up. That has been the cycle.
Let me see where my lines go to.
And last year was a clear year down. And so far this year has been a clear year up, as Bitcoin is up. I believe the number is like 70-something% right now for the year.
Let's see. I mean, this is kind of rudimentary because it's just a trading view marker, but if we're sitting there, yeah, 76%-ish.
There you go. So we know Bitcoin, and because I know it so well, just because I watch it every day, that
every day
looking at a chart, just off the top of my head, I know how much it's up this year. That's how much we watch this thing, you know?
Yeah, I still watch it in the night. When I get up to the toilet, I look at my Bitcoin. Like, I know there's a lot of people in the world, they get up and they look at their messages or emails, or I look at Bitcoin. It's really
so do I.
Yeah. That's what I care about.
I know Bitcoin just had over 1 million wallets today. It was announced that they have over 1 million wallets with more than one Bitcoin. And I'm very proud to be one of those people.
Wow. 1 million wallets that's amazing.
With one Bitcoin or more.
Well, we're less than 10% away from being all the Bitcoin in the world has almost been mined.
That's right.
So that means if you're looking at an asset, like there was a conversation going on in our crypto group, I'm not sure if you caught it, but one of our members had said, oh, I'm worried about Bitcoin in the long term. It looks like it's coming down. And I'm like, you know what, though? This is the thing, is this is the first time our world has seen a global asset with a capped supply. So no one country can control what's going to happen. And we've never seen that before.
Yeah,
So I think
because if
a
you
lot of
need
people
more
have a
gold,
hard
you
time
just go and mine more
grasping.
gold. You need more oil, you go and mine more oil. You need water, you go and get more water. But with Bitcoin,
You
once
got to
they're
buy it
done
from
mining
us.
Bitcoin, there's no more Bitcoin to mine.
You got it. You're going to have to beg us for it.
And that's how we become a digital bank. Because
Dun,
now you need
dun.
Bitcoin. I got Bitcoin. Guess what? I'm a digital bank of the future because I got Bitcoin.
That's right.
What do you mean you don't got Bitcoin? You don't got Bitcoin? Well, I got Bitcoin. You want some?
Exactly. I will be forever grateful for you, RichTV Live, for making me buy my first Bitcoin because it's changed my world, I think.
Oh yeah, of
And
course.
I think it's done that for a lot of people. And if you're not in now, you're going to regret this. You really will. Just saying. But here's something interesting as well. Look at gold. I am like pretty appalled that it stayed up here for so long.
But
Look at
remember,
this.
I told you that every time it hits that 2000 mark, it sells off.
Right, but we're at a catalyst now that's kind of like a breaking point. So, and it's been doing that, right? We have three rejections. We have three rejections here.
Yep.
Really, over the next 2 weeks is going to tell us what's going to happen. If Biden comes in and says something that we can understand that sounds like he might save himself, then I do expect that gold's going to come back down because it doesn't really have a reason to bust that right now.
That's right.
Countries even they were buying up, right? All since Russia Ukraine war started, right? Pretty
Yep.
much was when they were all aping in, and the bags are filled. Like, so we did this when we did our session called the gold standard. That's where we were talking, and there was an article saying all these countries, Saudi, Iran, even like Poland was buying in a ridiculous amount of gold. I think that that's baked in. I don't think gold's going to go any higher unless some crazy catalyst happens like a default. Just saying.
Yeah.
Now,
So, I mean, I had my feelings about gold too. I've been watching it very closely, and I just feel like gold right now for me feels like it's finding a top. So I
yeah,
can't get excited about gold stocks
me
and gold
neither.
opportunities right now because I just feel like we're near top, and I don't
No,
know buying
I
anything near
actually,
top.
I'm gonna go against that a little bit. I think gold stocks, like gold producing stocks, have peaked out. Like I was taking a look at Barrick and Kinross, they've already had a nice little peak. And I don't think that they have a lot to go. But miners, on the other hand, are looking really juicy. So I do have a few in here. Not a ton, but a few that I think have a really nice catalyst. They're at the end of the session though, and we'll just super speed them just to get through, we have a nice list, but this is
Yep.
time, I think, for small caps to ramp up. We talked about it last week, right?
Yep.
I have a lot of small caps. Like, just look at this. There's so many small caps on here, but they're juicy.
Perfect.
They are, because I mean, whether we go into a deeper recession or if we're going to come out and recover, the point being is the next sector to run when it comes to making money is the small caps. They've been dead for a few years now, and it's ready because the large caps are correcting for many different reasons. However, so Tesla, Elon had this, we started talking about this. I don't know if we were live already, but Tesla had, or Elon had a interesting chat yesterday about electric vehicles, about AI, and about power for the most part. But what was he saying? You were telling me about the AI in the vehicle.
He says that he believes that Tesla will have their chat GTP moment this year when Tesla vehicles go autonomous and 5 to 10 million autonomous vehicles are on the road. And I'm predicting that there's going to be Tesla taxis and they will be autonomous. So you'll be able to go in a Tesla taxi and it'll be an autonomous Tesla taxi.
Isn't that already happening?
Uber, like Tesla will do like
There
Uber.
is driverless Ubers. I thought they were Teslas.
Yeah, Tesla's talking about creating like a fleet of taxis.
Okay.
So I don't know if they plan to compete against Uber or like what their plan is there, but I think that that can be a huge catalyst for Tesla.
Ah, then we need to pull up Uber. I haven't looked at Uber for a while. I think it's time. Okay, so I remember this happened and I don't remember who the brand was. Let's see.
Oh, they're already
Oh,
doing it in some places. So this is already
yeah,
happening. But
yeah.
I know Elon hasn't gone full blown on it yet. They're still working on it, working the kinks out. So it's not 100%, but he wants to go like fully autonomous. So he did
Okay.
hint that they're working on some big things.
Motional. Motional. I wonder if they're public. Do you see this? The Uber self-driving cars in Las Vegas are by Motional. Interesting. Let's see if they're public. Motional. I should have looked into this a long time ago. Motional. Let's see. No, they're not. But when they are, we'll know about it. Okay, that's really cool. Let's take a look at Uber. I haven't looked at Uber in a hot minute. I traded it last summer and then I hadn't come back. Oh, well then. That's looking pretty juicy, isn't it?
Yeah, it's starting to come back to life. Because they
Yes.
talked about the fact that they're going to start showing revenues for the first time, like profits, not just revenues, but actually profitability. So I think they said by the end of this year, they should be profitable. So that's a huge catalyst for Uber. And I think
Also a
once they
huge
go
catalyst.
profitable, we will see them go back over $50.
Oh yeah, I concur. I totally do. I mean, we topped out at $64, and when we topped out at $64, that's when everybody was locked at home. Everybody was locked in their house here. So those were revenues from before.
Yeah.
Then they were locked in their house. So then that showed up on the books and they started to come down, right?
Yep.
And then now everybody's been out. So we should absolutely see this come back up because this was a result of before when people were using the Uber. I think that's bang on, especially there's another catalyst for Uber. I read an article that car sales, like new car sales, have gone down because car insurance has gone up, interest on your car payments have gone up, interest rate on your mortgage is coming up. And when people are looking to reduce delta in their household, they're gonna usually look first to your car. You don't need your fancy new car payment when you can barely afford your groceries. Uber is a cheaper alternative because it really is. You're not paying parking, you're not paying for your car insurance, you're not paying car payment, you're just paying your few bucks here and there. And for most people, they could just write it off anyways. So that's a good momentum. I'm glad we pulled this up. Uber's already out of the Mo zone, but I mean, look at this. 1, 2, 3 higher lows and 3 higher highs. Think that looks juicy. It needs a pullback though. What do we have? Oh, look at teens can now ride Uber solo. What? This just came out 33 minutes ago.
There you go.
Let's pull this up. Teens can now ride Uber solo with supervised accounts. Oh my God, Uber's offering a solution for parents who need help driving kids around. What? Starting Monday,
Crazy.
parents and caregivers in 28 metro areas in US and Canada can invite teens under 18 to create Uber accounts with their family's profile. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, cool. So kids are just going to be Ubering it around instead of the parents driving them.
That's pretty cool.
It is pretty cool because you couldn't before because it was that over 18 thing, right? Huh. Well then, that's going to be a really good catalyst. No wonder it's
Absolutely.
spiked. Well done. Now this is one that you brought recently.
Yeah,
Kind of
LLAP. I really think they got some huge potential. Now, there's no guarantees with any company. Something could go wrong, but they have $2.5 billion in satellite backlogged in contracts that they're just starting to now put into the market. Their revenues is really growing. They just reported 28 million in revenues for the quarter, but they said they're going to do, their guidance was 250 million in revenue for the year. So my
Oh,
brain
wow.
thinks, okay, you're going to do 250 million for the year. You only reported 28 million for the quarter. That means you still got to report 222 million over the next 3 quarters. So at
Yeah.
some point over the next 9 months, there's going to be a big spike in revenue growth, which could be a big spike and a catalyst for the stock. They also have a massive average price rating of forecast of $9.25 by 6 different analysts. On average, $9.25, and they're $1.58. So I just think there's huge upside here. They got a good tight float, 125 million shares. So tight flow.
Is this where they're getting their $9 from? This old space here?
I have no idea. They got their own price target, way of how they do it, but the average price target is 9.25 from a low of 9 to a high of like 11. So it's about a $9 average price target. So I think there's huge upside for this, tight flow, and 2.5 billion in revenue coming in over the next few years. So, and they just closed another contract for 87 million. So there's like a lot of contracts coming in for this company. So I think that there's some exciting things coming, and I haven't bought it yet, but I'm thinking about buying it.
It looks like I'm seeing some revisions on those price targets. Yesterday they said $7 and $8, and these ones are saying $7.50, but that's not so bad because that's pretty much right around here, and that's still a nice profit.
Yeah, like that one right there lowered their price target from $10 to $7.50. I'm like, okay, even if it hits $7.50, I'd be
Yeah,
happy.
it's still a nice profit.
Oh,
So
it's a
say la
massive
vie.
profit. That'd be like 300 to 400%.
Yeah, but 400%. One thing that you brought this week that I was looking into, and I think is kind of viable, is this one. And what a day.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna close at 8% or more.
Look at that, right? Isn't that
Um,
funny how I was able to pick that and like get that one green day after all the red? And it's just
yeah.
because I'm watching the markets, I'm studying all the time. I'm looking for companies that I think are undervalued, decent floats, tight share structures, growing revenue, and this kind of fills all those gaps. So I think that
Yeah.
it's way underpriced, and I think there's some money to be made for chicken soup for the soul.
The growing revenue, I'm not sure it's hit yet, but I think it will. Not a financial advisor, neither of us are. However, you brought this and I was digging into it and I see how the catalysts are coming. So Chicken Soup for the Soul has been around forever. Like over my years, like even when I was young, I used to buy these books because you buy them as gifts. They have chicken soup for the dog, chicken like but what they are is they're books of uplifting stories. The fact that, and I mean, you still to this day find them in every bookstore, you find them in every airport bookstores, like they're everywhere. And one thing is that most of the world is going through a mental health crisis. And these books are full of like uplifting little stories. And so I do think it has a time and place in our world right now. I really do. People are going to be, oh, here we go, 8.4. People are going to be spending less on silly things, but when it comes to something that's your like self-care moments, these are things that people look to. So I do think there's a big catalyst, and it's only 11 million shares in the float. However, watch this. This is interesting. So their revenue has been growing, but their net revenue has been struggling. So clearly they need to do a little bit of restructuring and figure out what the hell they're doing wrong here. So gross profit was 2 million, gross profit 1 million, gross profit 6 million. So this could have something to do with the post-pandemic life and that we're recovering. They just need to do something about this. I mean, they have some pretty ugly losses. So as long as they can get past that, but I was trying to figure out what it was that was holding them back because I almost said, nah, because of that. However, one thing that stood out to me is one of the reasons why this was down was because of just straight up inflation of shipping costs, because a lot of these books are printed overseas. So you have shipping costs that basically violated every retailer post-pandemic was the shipping costs. So I think that has a lot to do with why their operating income was higher. And there's been ways around that these days. So I do think that they can recover from that really nicely. Like I really do. So anyways, seems we're not the only ones that think so, because that's nice. That's a really nice day.
Yeah, it just felt like it was overdone. And like I said, this is a company doing 100 million a quarter, and they're at $1.
Yeah,
So
and
I know
just
companies that don't even do 10 million a quarter, some that don't even do 1 million a quarter, and they're at $1. So it just felt like it was way over shorted,
yeah, I think
and
so. And their float is
feels
tight.
like there's a long way up for this one.
Word. I mean, there's
Like, look at the chart.
300% back just to support.
Like, even if it just gets to $10, it's almost, 7 to 10x.
You know what? In the summertime, I'd be happy with 300%.
Yeah, exactly.
If you
And
can
those are
get
the types of moves that
300% in
happen
the
in the
summer, which you can,
those are the
because
types of
there's
moves that
momentum
happen in
in
the
this.
summer, right? Happens all the time.
Exactly. So I'm actually with you on this. I think it is juicy AF. Upstart. We've talked about Upstart a lot recently, but Upstart is doing now what we're talking about Chicken Soup doing. So look at this. Fell out the bottom, just fell out, and then slithered a little. That same thing happened to Upstart. So here was the bottom on Upstart, and then it fell out. And that's the first time we've seen a strong candle. Could it pull back here at the top of this? Yes. Where is it? $27? Of course it can. But that's also like another 20-ish% from now. So that's good profits. It's summertime. And when it comes back down, pick it back up. But Upstart has a very big place in technology right now. And then if you're looking at the financials, it makes sense. So I think they're definitely ready to start growing, and they're a tech company, right? Cloud-based tech, just like every other cloud-based tech, which was a lot of our whatchamacallit, cybersecurity stocks. We had this in when we were talking about cybersecurity, because Upstart is part of that whole thing. They all came down. It wasn't selective. They just all came down. Upstart, because I think it had such a big peak in the pandemic, it fell really hard, but the upside is ridiculous. And they do have a very big place in technology. So yeah.
Yeah, I like them
It's
a
a
lot.
goodie. This is one of your picks.
Yeah,
Tell me more about this
IMMP.
one.
It's up today on lung cancer, FDA stage 2 approval. So the stock has been up as much as 125%. When I put out an alert on TikTok, it's now up 86%. So it's just one to watch on big news. And I wouldn't be buying like when it does those big spikes, but it's definitely one to watch. And if you want to day trade it,
Absolutely.
it could be something that we can make some money with.
Yep, just watch your entry, right? If we can hold here, then it could be up for another. But I know when you put it out, it hadn't spiked that much. So props on that. Now we did just talk about this one quickly, AI, but the candle in it is sexy. So bless AI. I
And
do think that Tesla's the AI
this has been one of my top picks for some of my top 10 stocks over the last few months. I really like this stock, and it looks like you can see in the chart, it does these moves down to 20, and then it goes back to like 25-30, and then it goes down under 20 and it goes to 25-30. So if I was to trade this as a day trader, I would literally just set a target of buying under 20 and selling over 25 to 30. And I would just be doing that over and over and over again.
Yeah, like that
That's what it
$18
does.
area looks about right. Like between $15 to $18. If you can handle a 10% pullback, no dramas, right? But the spikes on it is beautiful. And I think we're gonna see these all summer long, because we're not gonna have like the big money doesn't come back to the markets until the end of summer. Especially right now that they're all so worried about default, right? But then you have people like us and everyone on the side who's coming in, and we're accumulating these rips. And we've been seeing it in AI for the last couple months. So I think we're probably going to have AI on our list for weeks, months. I don't know. But however long that we can trade these rhythms for, we will. Because like anyone who's been taking these trades is killing it.
100%.
Yeah, so it's like every couple weeks they come up, then they come down for another rego, and then they come again. Those are nice. This was one of your top 10s as well, sound, wasn't it?
It was in my top 10 AI stocks video that I did.
Okay, so it does the same thing. Look at the rhythm on these spikes. It is beautiful spikes. So around that $1.80, $1.90 mark is where it likes to ride from usually, but those are nice paydays and they happen often. And clearly today. Okay, look at lemonade. Same. We've been pulling up lemonade for almost 3 weeks now, and every week it goes up and then it comes back down and then it comes up again. I don't see that stopping because it's AI, but it's had a really nice week. It has had a really nice week.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I think we said the same thing last week and the week before. And this one too. This one was the deadest of all. It was literally just sitting at 4 cents for a couple days. And I was like, are you not going to wake up? It's waking up. Oh, shoot. What was that? What? Let me go closer. That can't be. It is. Oh my. Okay. Do you see what I see?
Yeah, I think it's just such a dangerous stock, so I'd be careful with this one.
They're all dangerous stocks.
Yeah, but this is at 4 cents and it's come all the way down, so I would just be
Yeah, and a
careful.
lot of them were just about 2 months ago. So
Yeah, well,
yeah.
this one's still at 4 cents. So I'm just saying, just be careful with IDEX, in my opinion. Probably the
Yeah,
worst one on this list.
yeah, but if you look at the company, do some DD because they did.
I know the company. Had
Yeah,
them on
and
my show. I know them. They've been terrible.
yeah,
Look
they've
at
been
the
getting
chart.
contracts. They've been actually
I
getting
know, but the stock
contracts,
itself
paying
is close to
contracts.
being reversed, right? We're at 4 cents. So when you get to this level, you're almost at a reverse point. So I'm
That's
just saying
right,
you
which
need to
is
be
why I
really,
think
really
he's
careful.
there. I think that they're at a really nice place to make some really nice money. So, but we're not financial advisors, right? You got to do what's right for you.
Just be careful, guys, with that one.
Exactly. So MWRK, also a crappy company, but they're AI and AI likes to run together.
Yeah,
And
and they're
there's
getting pushed by NIA, National Inflation Association. They hired them. So there is some promotion behind that. So
crappy stock, highly promoted.
yes, exactly. So keep your eye on that one.
But that's what you get in every new sector. We don't know who is going to survive this, but it's not about a long time on this. Everybody should be looking at these as a good time, not a long time. If you've learned anything from any other sector, I'm not talking you because I know you know, but I'm talking any of our members. If you've learned anything, that these new sectors, you're not going to get in and stay forever because they don't give a damn how loyal you are. This is about making money. So pick your target and get the heck out when you get paid. It's not time to be greedy. It's time to make money. InnoData has been doing well as well. They're definitely pulling back, but look at the momentum on it.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah. So these guys do
That's
like cloud
incredible.
data and they're storing. So like they have a security storage for cloud data. So that's interesting. MicroStrategy is still the gift that keeps on giving. Props to everyone that's still in it. I know Andrea is still holding, she's been getting paid here and there on it. She's been taking dips and rips and I'm super proud of her.
Nice.
MicroStrategy had a really good conference. They had a really good conference and there was quite a few more lightning wallets that were activated after that. I think the lightning wallets were at 40, I think there was like 45,000 nodes or something. And then there was close to 80,000 just recently. So
wow.
yes.
Doubled?
Close to.
That's
It
crazy.
did come back down when we had this ordinals drama. There was like another 10,000 nodes dropped down because when there was the congestion in the Bitcoin network, people didn't realize the difference between Bitcoin network and Lightning network. So some people closed clearly. But c'est la vie, not a drama. Not a drama. The one thing that I noticed, I was listening to a keynote it was an interview that Michael Saylor did with Natalie Brunell. And I heard him and I was like, oh, listen to your angle. So you know how we're having all these talks about GBTC and how worrisome it is that GBTC has all their Bitcoin stored in Coinbase and SEC is after Coinbase, right?
Yes.
MicroStrategy put out there, well, since, and he said it in such a roundabout way, but I know exactly what it meant. Like, these aren't his words verbatim, but this is what he said. He was like, I know that there's a lot of exchanges out there, and the regulators are after the exchanges to try and get their Bitcoin, but MicroStrategy is not an exchange. And he's like, we are a public company, but if you buy MicroStrategy, you are contributing to Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. So basically, I think what he's doing is he's getting those industries and companies that have their investments in GBTC, he's telling them maybe it's time to get out of there, not so safe right now to be in Coinbase world because of the SEC, but you can come and play with me. And that's kind of what I heard him say in a roundabout way, but it was pretty bang on. So it's out of the Mo zone and holding at $288 a stock, and there's still like 500% or more in it. So yeah, it's pretty juicy.
Yeah, I mean, if Bitcoin goes up, expect that they will explode.
Exactly. I now own Block.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. But I'm down on it. I bought it late last week. So say la vie. I'm down like a couple percent and I really don't give a damn.
You sure you're down? Because it's up 4% right now. Maybe you're back up.
Yeah, no, I am down because I bought like in here.
Okay.
So it was, yeah, I'm down by like 2% or 3%. It's like so little that I'm down. It's not a big deal.
Yeah,
down
that's
there. Yeah, it's not, it was like my average is like 50, 58-ish. I'm under 60. So needless to say, not going to be
you'll
for
do
long.
really well at that price.
As mine. So I was going to buy even at 80 and I didn't. And then I was glad I didn't because I remembered the true bottom was around 60.
Yeah.
But it's dependent on how Bitcoin rolls. It rolls with Bitcoin.
Right.
And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So I can wait a bit. But the part of waiting a bit is even just to this rhythm. And I mean, I'm not staying forever. I'm trading this. I have a lot of mistakes to make up for in the last couple, well, not mistakes, but we were in a lot of shit that went down over a couple of years, right? So this is accumulation time. We've been doing it since July, in and out and in and out. I don't know who's going to be our favorite. I don't feel like I'm in anything for a long time right now because the world is too volatile. So my exit point will be $80. The reason my exit is $80 is it likes to pull back around that 88. And, we are in a dramatic time. So still, it's a nice percentage, like close to 40%. So I think that's fine.
Yeah, of course.
A couple of weeks ago, we talked about PayPal. I hate PayPal. I do because their privacy and wanting to find people and blah, blah, blah. But we looked at their financials and they are improving. And like we said, with anything else, when a company has a lot of money, even though they cause a drama, people forget about it.
I like PayPal. I know that they're being held down because of Bitcoin too. So if Bitcoin explodes, that's another one like Square that will also follow Bitcoin and MSRT.
Exactly. So I think regardless of how you feel about them as a company, I'm pretty sure you like money.
Of course.
Naturally. I hate them as a company. I just don't like the things they're doing, but I like to make money and I see money here. Because even if we just go up, like it actually pays a little better than Square. It's just that I like Square. They haven't violated me. So, but either way, that's pretty juicy. And we looked at their financials and they are improving. Okay, this has been a topic of conversation and I did some digging and I was like, whoa. Wow. Okay. So for the last, look at the this is Western Union. Now look at the Western Union chart, okay? From 2020, it started to come down, straight down. But now here's the weird thing. I found data that was saying from 2021 into 2022, so that would be from 2021 to 2022 in this area, there was approximately 200 billion in remittances sent from the USA into Latin America. Western Union takes close to 10% of that.
Wow.
In their revenues. So they were having record usage. Like there was, I found a report that was saying for 3 months in a row, they had over 50 billion in 15, 3 months in a row, 15 billion in transactions.
Wow.
In 2022. Yes.
Big.
But the stock was going down. And why is it held down? I don't know, but I really don't think it's staying there. So watch this. Anyways, I'm going to be buying some Western Union as soon as I get paid on Square. Okay, let's go here. Look at that. Do you see how juicy this is?
Yeah.
Total revenue, 104 billion.
Very consistent.
Yes, it's very consistent. It's very consistent. And the growth is happening. So you've been warned. I really think it's juicy. I really do. Just to know that like they were having record remittances sent. If record remittances are sent, that means that Western Union was pulling in record bucks.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that chart looks like it's definitely doing a
right.
little bit of a trend reversal pattern though, so I like that.
Yeah, it is. Like when you look at the all time, I'm like, wow, there is a crazy opportunity in here. So the absolute bottom, here we go. Thank God for instincts. The absolute bottom was 2009, exactly where it's popping off of right now. Do you see that?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that is insane in the membrane. So pretty much as long as we can cross over this area, 1250-ish, and I'm just trying to respect this candle and this candle. Once we cross over there, it should be go time. And it's a pretty nice upside. So I think Western Union is looking juicy. Is it okay if we go over time? Are you in a hurry?
I'm not in a hurry.
Okay. Those are my most favorites. Now, I just want to go through these guys. I didn't buy big yet, and it hasn't popped yet, but I still am going to. Because it's got 10 bagger in it, if you ask me. This is the one company in Canada that owns more Bitcoin than any other Canadian company.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, they have quite a bit, but everyone seems to have forgotten about them. But they haven't fully bottomed out yet either. So a full bottom out would take them like way low. Like,
Wow.
yeah, ugly. So that's why I haven't bought them yet. I think we need to see like a strong momentum in Bitcoin for them to start coming out and talking about it. But when they do, and I've literally been looking at them weekly because I think it's just about time. Look at HUT, 10% on the day. How good is that, right?
Oh yeah.
Fantastic. So yeah, HUT's been juicy. It's been 236% from the bottom, which was just 2 months ago. 236%. That's just if you held it. Incredible. So props. But the truth is that's a Mo zone. And once it comes out of that, it'll be go time. But I don't know if it's going to come out of that and hold anytime soon because we're still in summertime. So, but the fact that you can play this little square for 200% sounds like Wheel of Fortune. Hive is the same. Hive needs to pull back a little bit more, but it's almost a target. So I set this target at 297, is it? 319 is the target. So I think we're not too far away, and then we should hit it. But I just wanted to show you what kind of momentum we've had just for the last couple of weeks in this.
Oh yeah,
so we haven't
it's
had
the one that I own. I love this one. So yeah, I think there's huge upside here. You can see that trend reversal pattern. It's nice.
Got green and growing. So the momentum on it is beautiful. And it looks to me like it's crossed resistance. So like we were talking about HUD and Hive are still in their Mo zone. BTBT is not. It was last week that it crossed it because I finally went green last week. I'd averaged down for so long. I sold my BITF and then I put it into BT to average down and I got green. So I'm green now, but long ways to go to make up for all that averaging down really. Either way, it's out of the Mo zone and looking good. Absolutely. BITF, yeah. The ITF is almost out. It's interesting though that BTBT got out before the others, but the ITF is almost out. So word up, once it's out, watch out. Riot's out. Riot's fully out and hasn't come back. And we identified that last week. There we go. That was the Mo zone on BTBT. Let's pull into the 4-hour. Look at that. Oh, hello. Hold it.
On Riot, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry. Did I say Mara?
No, you said BTBT.
My bad.
Oh, good. I love Riot, and Riot's been one of my top 10 picks over the last couple months, and Mara. So I'm really happy that they're doing well.
Yeah, like the point is that they walked out, they retested, and they stayed above. And that's nice. I think that looks really good. So people are snacking on it, waiting for a rip. Sorry, here's the ITF. We talked about this already. And Mara, now Mara is now going to be the first miner in Saudi Arabia.
Oh.
They're partnered with a company called, I think it's called Zero. Let me get back to you on that. I believe it's called Zero. This mining facility is going to be a nuclear Bitcoin mining facility.
Wow.
And yes, yes. So I think Mara is about to blow some minds because they're clearly setting up to be the largest Bitcoin miner in the world, because now that they're crossing the globe and mining everywhere and they have this huge thing. Okay, let me pull up the article. Okay, 1 second. Marathon, oopsies. Marathon in Saudi. Let's see what we get here. I believe it's Saudi Arabia. Marathon Bitcoin. Oops. I think we gotta go in news. Here we go. Not that one. Why can't I find it? Blah, blah, blah. SEC's, oh, here we go. Abu Dhabi. Yep, Zero it's called. SEC's after everybody with Bitcoin now. This is just insane. Marathon Digital announces immersion crypto mining operations in Abu Dhabi, which is even bigger. So Zero is the company that they partner with to create a large-scale immersion Bitcoin facility in Abu Dhabi. According to the firm, Marathon and Zero plan to power the facilities with excess energy from Abu Dhabi's grid, so that's saving the money again, claiming that it will increase its base load and sustainability. So this is pretty groundbreaking. They used to say it was infeasible, but it's not, because they've built a custom-built immersion solution to cool its rigs using a liquid cooling solution, which is totally groundbreaking as it is. So I think this is gonna be really cool. The two companies, Zero and Marathon, controlling 80 and 20% respectively. Facilities will be online by 2024 with a hash rate of 7. That's huge. So visiting. So yeah, it looks like so many others want to follow them on this strategic hub, right? But still, that is ridiculous. So I think Mara is setting up to be like the biggest Bitcoin miner.
Yeah, I think it has the potential to be just enormous.
Yes, like that's huge news. Like,
oh
it's
yeah,
huge. And then
Saudis have so much money.
so much, so much. And the fact that it's going to help their energy grid, they're going to get so like, it's a really good thing. I think they're going to do like a lot of myth busting while they're out there and using nuclear energy from what I understand. So that's pretty cool. It has the exact same rhythm as everyone else, because I think they haven't really noticed the full potential, but I do. And I'm sure you do. It's a big potential. So now we know. Now graphite. Let's go with these graphite picks. Now I've looked at quite a few of these and I like the ones that I have in here, but we have to do our own DD because there's quite a few and we got to see what's up. But the fact that we need 30 times more graphite than we do lithium and there's a shortage, I'm not so sure we even need to be selective, right?
Yeah,
So
definitely good to put the list together, and I'm writing all of this down, so this is great.
yeah, a lot of them are new for me too, but I'm definitely going to be buying a couple in the very near future because I just think the potential for us in this is huge. So I have, it looks like the list is bigger than it is, but I have the US and Canadian tickers for many. So Graphite International, huge upside. EAF in Canada and NNXPF. Oh, my bad, new one. Sorry. Nano Explorer, NNXPF. The charts in these all look the same because they haven't rocketed yet, because they haven't got the exposure. Everyone was so busy talking about lithium, they forgot that it's lithium ion. We learned a new thing, right?
Yep.
Big upside, NNXPF, Nano Explorer. This one as well, NMG, Nouveau Monde Graphite. These guys are mining and they're doing a chemical derivative. So like they actually are making a synthetic graphite as well. So it seems to me like they got their butts covered if they're doing both, because they can supply even if they can't get it, right?
Yep.
Zentech, same. Zentech has a synthetic graphite as well. And upside's pretty juicy. And Next Source Materials, also graphite. The one thing I like about these guys is they have a nice trading rhythm, pretty much from this level. Like
Definitely.
from $1.76, when they pop off that, those are nice rhythms. And there's quite a few of them. So I like this chart a lot. Graphite Bio, look at this. In 2021, when lithium and electric vehicles were peaking, it hit $33. They're on the NASDAQ. These guys are synthetic producers of graphite. And they're synthetic producers of graphite in the US, where there is a major critical shortage. That's why I think it hit $33. So this to me looks like it could be the juiciest. It's just not awake. So word up on that one. But I like that they're doing it synthetic because then it's like easier to reach. Graphite one has a nice momentum on it, but we've actually talked about this one a few times and they put out quite a few news sources. So I think that's what's, maybe they're with the NII, like maybe they're being pumped, I'm not sure, but they put out news for things that don't matter. So I think that's what kept them up. They're staying relevant is what they're doing. Westwater Resources, yes, they produce graphite, not water, which is weird. But anyways, it's called Westwater Resources and it's only 86 cents with a high of $14, $15. Pretty juicy.
Yeah.
I really wish I got some of these in the past, but did you work with these guys, South Star Battery Metals? Because they sounded familiar to me.
No.
Okay. Well, hopefully they can all come on the show because I'd like them all to come and explain everything that they're doing so we know which ones are the best.
I agree.
Yes. So nice momentum on this one, but it has big pullbacks. Like it'll come down to 41 cents, but it's got like, you know, that's a good 50% in it. From 40 to 60 all the time, go for it.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. So nice tradable rhythm on that, just like Next was. Then we have Gratomic. Again, these guys are not doing a ton of stuff, but they put out a lot of news articles. So I think that's why they've had some random spikes just from news. I haven't seen them do anything great, but off these prices, those spikes were worthy, like definitely worthy. So it's got a nice little rhythm around this area. So it's pretty tradable. CBULF is the US symbol for Gratomic. Mason Graphite, these guys also, these guys are partnered with Nouveau Monde that we mentioned earlier. Either way, nice spikes, and those money has spikes. Those spikes have money in them, like from 21 cents to 42 cents. Beautiful. MGPHF in the US. Northern Graphite, I think we've looked at this one quite a few times. All-time high of 94 cents. Nice. It looks like it's probably going to come around here, right? Because of this little area. And then that remainder support. So if that can hold a support, maybe $35 or $35, 35 cents, looks like a nice entry. And 71%. Nice. NGPHF in the US. FMS, Focus Graphite. I've actually traded this one before. I traded Focus, I don't know, it's been a while, but I have traded it. Because that's what that little dollar sign is. That was my take profit. Either way, there's a good rhythm in there. So it looks like they're coming right back down to their baseline because people aren't talking about graphite. C'est la vie, don't care. There's a nice rhythm in that and it's worth something. FCSMF in the US. Then we have ERA, Alcora Advanced Materials. So I looked into these guys and they're not just graphite. They're graphite, copper, and a few other pretty important elements. So I think that's why they've had some really nice movements. However, they live at 3 cents. So word up, super risky. ECORF in the US. Then we have CYL, Ceylon Graphite. These guys are interesting because they're just coming off that bottom, but again, it's a cheap bottom. But a lot of these are cheap bottoms because graphite has not got a lot of love. Don't forget, we need 30 times more graphite than we need lithium. Nice upside. LMR, Lamical Metals, really crappy chart, super risky, but I've been reading the news that they've been putting out and they actually are doing some stuff. Like they are growing their business. So this looks super sketchy, but I'm actually going to be paying closer attention to it than many others because I think they're going to be pulling stuff out of the ground really soon. Green Battery Minerals. These guys don't just have graphite, they have copper as well. Which makes them worth a little bit more, but the spikes that they have are juicy. So let's go here. That's about support. So you can get 50 to 100% little rips off this baby. Just watch on your entry. Green Battery Minerals is GBMIF in the US. Now this one we've talked about a few times, Grafano Energy. I like them, but they've been dead. They've been fully dead, but they were really good to us in the very beginning days when, not us, I didn't trade it personally, but I've been watching them really, really closely. And when electric vehicle excitement started to come up and we were looking into lithium, these guys were talking a lot about lithium, however, they're graphite. So they kind of planned their news articles around lithium, and that stands to get them a little bump when it's time. Now, just a couple quick more. Sand is not lithium, it's a gold stock. But do you remember I was telling you a lot of the gold stocks have already had their rips because they were the producing gold, the ones who were making money off gold, right?
Yep.
I think the miners have a chance to come up now because all the gold stocks that went up, they were selling gold, but now it has to come back out of the ground. So miners have been dead, and I think these guys have a quick chance. Sand, AGI, oh, meant to take that out, spiked. As I was talking about the gold on spike, this I meant to take out. This is one of the ones that was producing and it's gone. BTG was another I wanted to bring up. B2 Gold, look at this one. We've talked about this one quite a few times.
Yeah, I've looked at them before.
Yeah, like quite a lot we have. But the spikes in their rhythm are like 50-60% spikes. And they're just coming out of a mozone with a nice momentum. Like they were living along this bottom almost all year long. And then they spiked, pulled back, and they're making higher highs. So I expect it to pull back to that like 350 area. And then we should be nice to rock. And one more. Gold Royalty Corp. The only reason I chose this is because it's royalties.
Yep.
And if we learned anything from like even Vox royalty, anyone who's in a royalty business stands to do really, really well.
100%.
And they haven't popped off their bottom. They have a few times, but there's still 25-30% just off this level. So I just wanted to give a heads up on this one. And they had some results last week. They did good. They pulled it back. Why? It's summertime. Everyone's just taking profits. And I don't think that's dramatic. So that's all I got. Sorry I went over, but we had a lot to talk about.
Yeah, no, I got lots of picks. Thank you so much for your
Yeah,
analysis.
no, thank you. I'm actually really stoked about this chicken soup pick you gave us. Cause like I really think that can get really juicy. So I'm pretty
And the
stoked.
markets are green and Bitcoin's green. So hopefully this will continue and we'll have a big green week next week.
Absolutely. See you Wednesday. Thanks
All right.
guys for coming
We'll see you
out.
then.
Lots of fun. Cheers.
Cheers.